Do 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 do.
I'm charging my attack. Got water now while I'm back.
Bars.
Hey, Vegeta. Vegeta. Vegeta?
No.
Vegeta.
No.
Hey, Vegeta.
What?
Do you want to start the show?
I guess.
Hey everybody, it's Tuesday, September the 14th, 2020, and this is the Fourth and Wrong Podcast. I'm your host, RJ, and joining me as always is Keith. Say hi, Keith.
Hi, Keith.
Okay. So it's the energy we're coming with. Awkward, mustache, devouring energy. You said you had to shave your goatee soon?
Yeah, so we're getting fitted for new respirators at work, and I don't think they're gonna let it fly.
They're gonna make you sign a piece of paper.
We'll see.
You keeping the mustache?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the mustache.
Fucking protest stash.
It's a twirly boy.
Mm-hmm. It's a twirly boy. I got a stash that keeps me curly.
I'm gonna get me some wax for it.
See, that was you've obviously seen mine. Not all viewers have seen mine. Maybe I'll make it the thumbnail for this week on the YouTube. But I had my curly boy for a while, and the biggest problem with it was maintaining it during the summer because I would constantly sweat it out over the course of the day because I was working in warehouses.
Wax is the key.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was putting legitimate hair gel and shit into it.
Yeah. But, pomading your mustache.
Mm-hmm. And even still, that would work, but it would still,
sure,
poof at the ends.
Get some slick boy energy.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, football's back! We had real football. It happened.
Can it go away?
It's happening again tonight.
Let's make it go away.
No.
I don't want to be here anymore. I hate it here.
What? Why?
Oh, I don't know. Because
as I move to the side of my quarterback.
The Browns are in mid-season form, so that's good.
So that makes them 2-6?
Yeah, they're awful. They're still an awful football team. So some things happened over the weekend.
Things happened.
Football happened.
Were they football things?
They were football things. And with football things come misery and sadness and anger for me. The factory is kicking. The production line is roaring.
If I may quote one Keith Simonson, they could have won the game.
They could not have won this fucking game, but because not only were the Browns in mid-season form, so was Baltimore.
Yeah, it appeared as much.
Yeah. So, if you don't know, the Browns got completely dismantled by the Baltimore Ravens, like you do. 38-6.
You didn't last year.
Yeah, that one time. That was nice. Hoping for a repeat performance. Didn't happen. Big question marks. So, remember all of those episodes we did where I was just like, I don't know who our secondary or linebackers are. That was a huge problem because, fondly enough, the only person that could run the ball on our defense was Lamar Jackson. And even that was held to a limited effectiveness. Mark Ingram only averaged like 2.5 or like slightly more than 2.5 yards a carry. Did a good job there. Everywhere else was awful. Everywhere else. Lamar was sacked twice. Cool. But he went 20 for 25 for like 280 yards. And 3 touchdowns. Because fuck Mark Andrews and fuck Hollywood Brown.
Yeah.
'Cause those
I saw one of those Andrews snags.
Yeah. And fuck Willie Snead to a lesser degree because he also got one of the touchdowns. So we'll start with the positives because there's like 2.
Sure.
David Njoku, probably glad he wasn't traded. Or at least we were glad he wasn't traded for the limited production he gave us. He was, 3 receptions for 50 yards and a touchdown.
I mean, that ain't nothing.
Not bad. Other one of 3 positives. Jarvis Landry seemed to have picked up right where he left off. He had 6 targets, 5 receptions for 60 yards. The rush... Go ahead.
Sorry, go on. No, you go on if you're talking about the rush. I have an important question, but...
Okay. The rushing game kind of picked up where it left off. Between Kareem Hunt and Nick Chubb, they both had 23 carries. Did a little run by committee that I wasn't super keen on because I just wanted Nick Chubb to just bulldoze people.
Right, like you do.
But together, they had 23 touches for 138 yards.
Kareem Hunt was looked like he was running like a guy who was trying to prove he deserved to play football again.
Kareem Hunt looked so much better than he did last year. So much better than he did last year. And good on that offensive line for making holes for both of them. Like, Kareem Hunt averaged 5.5 yards a carry. Nick Chubb averaged 6. Like, they were popping holes open. And those yardage, like, Kareem Hunt's longest rush was only 20 yards, and Nick Chubb's was only 29. So it's not like they had, like, one breakaway run that busted the whole stat line open. Like, they were consistently 5-6 yards a clip. And then everything else happened. So Baker got his touchdown, but first drive of the game, he threw a pick. So he went even on that. 21 for 39, 189 yards. And they tried to force feed Odell after the half. I don't know what the fuck Kevin Stefanski said to them in the locker room. I know that there was some miscues and coverage that we were going to try to take advantage of because Baltimore was playing like hyper physical in the secondary. So I think part of the strategy might have been like, well, let's start targeting Odell more because they're smothering him and try to get calls in our favor, and it kind of worked. We got a fair amount of defensive penalties, some holding calls, some PI calls, but Odell was targeted 10 times. He had 3 receptions, and not all of those were bad balls. Like Odell had some drops, and some uncharacteristic drops from somebody like Odell. The whole game. It just looks like it's like nothing has changed in 2 years since when we went fully defeated. It's like, yeah, we won football games the last 2 seasons. Cool. But we put our roster on paper. Even pull out Baker Mayfield. If you think Baker Mayfield is the problem here, which could be. I'm undecided. But if you think Baker's the problem, pull out Baker and insert any starter-level quality quarterback and then put our offense on paper in front of any defense in the league. Do you think we only score 6 points? Do you think we only score 6 fucking points? We have fucking Odell Beckham, Jarvis Landry, Austin Hooper, David Njoku, Rasad Higgins, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and a rebuilt offensive line. This is not a 6-point offense. So... what, and this has been a reoccurring theme over the past season, starting last year. So what really is the issue? because we blamed coaching. I know it's one game into the season, one game into the season, but I'm frustrated. Like I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not expect to win this game. Baltimore is good. I didn't expect to win it last year when we played Baltimore. When we smoked Baltimore the first time we played them. Didn't expect to win that game either.
But I expected more than 6 points.
I did not expect a 32-point discrepancy between these two teams.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be the tightest the AFC North has ever been. Yeah. With Pittsburgh being healthy, Baltimore playing out of their minds, and even Cincinnati trying to make some moves. This is supposed to be the return of the status that the only people that can compete with the AFC West and the AFC is teams from the AFC or the AFC East. The only teams that can compete with AFC East teams are AFC North teams.
Okay, there we go.
That's where I was getting at.
Got it. Got
yep.
there.
So you put that roster. Now the defense, like, this should have been a fucking shootout because I have question marks with that defense. Most teams can score on that defense. But this is not a 6-point offense. And what compounded the issue is when we put together some kind of something that was a drive. Austin Seibert would walk out there thinking he's a goddamn kicker and just hoof that bitch into the fucking into the stands. Like goalposts, dog. They're big, they're yellow. Put the ball between them. You know? Like, that's your only job, is to kick the ball off to the other team and kick it through the goddamn goalpost. I understand it is difficult to kick in the North and the Northeast. He missed everything. Everything. Let me get my where are my kicky stats at? So, he was 0 for 1 on field goals, and 0 for 1 on extra points. He literally kicked 0%. The best thing he did was get a touchback.
How many touchbacks did he get? Just one?
Fucking one. So...
Well, to be fair, you guys only kicked it, what, twice?
Yep.
Because that's how scoring works?
Yep. So, even if we got those 4 points, that we left on the field, 38-10 seems a lot better than 38-6.
You at least hit double digits.
Yeah, like, we got double digits. That's almost double the score we have now. Like, I put it to you this way. I was so fucking pissed off at this game. I watched the Panthers. I turned it off. Like, third quarter, game's off, put the Panthers on the big screen. I kept it on my laptop just so I can keep up with the score and the ticker. But, like, I had this was my, I sent you a picture of my battle station.
Yes.
I had Browns Baltimore on my
very impressive.
Yeah, I had Browns Baltimore on my 65-inch. I had Bills Jets on my 43-inch, and then I had Panthers on the laptop because I had a couple friends over and we each had our own team. Fortunately, one of the friends I had over is a Jets fan, so I got to watch the Bills game. I put the Panthers up on the big screen because the Panthers game was the only fucking competitive game that we were watching at the time. Because the Bills were just, we'll get to the Bills, but they were walking away from the Jets. So it's like, oh, the Panthers are putting something together. Let's watch the Panthers because I'm not watching the fucking Browns anymore because there's nothing to fucking watch.
Yeah.
And I've never watched a game where I didn't feel like I had some kind of, like, statistical analysis that I could contribute to the conversation. I got nothing. Like, this was just, it was, why the fuck did we try, it was like it was early in the first half. Why the fuck are we running fucking bootleg fake punts with Jamie Gillian? Like,
yeah, I only caught the end of that, and it still seemed like a bad idea.
Why'd we do that? And not only why'd we do that, he coughed up the ball. Like, he gave them an extra 3 yards because it got fucking, somebody jammed a helmet into his shoulder.
Yep.
Like, that's some fucking running a draw on 4th and 8 shit. Like, we...
Well, I also saw that you were, what was it, 3rd and 41 at one point?
Yeah, that was fucking fun. It was it was a Browns fucking game, RJ. It was
Brown-
it was some Browns ass football. Whatever they put in the water in Berea, it was fucking
certainly a Brown in distance right there.
fucking trademark it. Put it on a t-shirt. Cuz it's your brand. This is your brand, Cleveland. And I am fucking beyond livid about it.
Take it to the shit store.
Just in a bag.
Get it
Like-
together.
And that's really all I can say. Is like just get your shit together. Like this is like Kevin Stefanski, I like you. I like what you did in Minnesota. If you think Case Keenum is the answer, bench Baker.
Oh, that's right. You guys have Case Keenum.
Yeah. If you think he's the answer,
I think I think at this point he might be a better answer.
yeah. I want 2 more games out of Baker. And if I'm not convinced, Case Keenum better be fucking starting. I'm officially on the bandwagon of fucking Twitter that was just like, fuck Baker, start Case.
So so I got a couple things to throw at you now.
Okay.
Sorry to prolong this. Sorry, not sorry. It seemed like every time I glanced over at the game, because I had it over here on my TV as my second monitor,
Yeah.
just kind of on in the background. It seemed like there was a sideline shot of Odell with his helmet off, and he was looking wistfully into the distance. What exactly was that about?
That was... there was something interesting that I did notice as well. Odell wasn't in the formation a lot in the first half. He just wasn't. Like, Kevin Stefanski loves those 2 tight end sets. When I imagine a 2 tight end set, if you have 2 receivers on the field with your 2 tight end set, it should be your 1 and 2. I don't know. I think Odell checked out early, honestly. He got frustrated early. You could just see it in his face.
What were his totals?
He was...
Still.
Yeah. He was 3 receptions for 22 yards. 10 targets.
10.
Yeah. And 2 of those were drops.
Ew.
Or 2 or 3 of those were drops. Like uncharacteristic drops. Like Baker could not have put it any more in that man's hands. Dropped the ball. You know? So, like, that's why I'm not 100% on, like, the fuck Baker train, is because, like, nobody did him many favors. But, like, it's not the same Baker that, like, it's not the same Baker from 2 years ago who, like, jerked the whole team up by their bootstraps and was like, no, fuck you guys, we're winning games. And I don't know where that attitude went. I don't know where the attitude we played with in 2018 went, because that attitude with this roster, we should be winning football games. And if we're not winning football games, they should be a whole fuck ton closer than 38-6.
Okay, I have a new question.
I have a new answer.
I forgot my second question, but I have a new question. Would you rather have the coaching staff you had in 2018?
I want Greg Williams back. At least as defensive coordinator. I like him. He's angry.
Yeah.
The rest of the coaching staff, not so much.
Okay.
I think Hugh Jackson was too passive. I mean, it's too early to tell how I feel about our current coaching staff, but I wouldn't want the entire coaching staff back from 2018. I would want Greg Williams back, just because I like Greg Williams. He's a walking meme. But he also has some of the best defensive concepts in the league. So, and so,
especially for a 4-3, which is what you guys are actually suited for.
Yeah, and we run the 4-3 like crazy, and that's pretty much what we have to run, because we don't have any players anywhere past the defensive line anymore. They're all dead.
Wow.
Or some asshole that I don't fucking know who probably walked off the street 3 weeks ago. Like, and I've been saying that for weeks. Like, I don't know who these people are, and they're not showing me anything. Well, that's it. It reflected week 1.
Yeah. So we can move on if you'd like.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Okay. You want to talk about the Bills?
Let's talk about somebody who won a game.
Yay! That was us.
Yay!
Kind of in spite of ourselves.
A little bit.
It's a good thing that the Jets are trash. So the Bills kind of get two nice, easy warm-up games against the Jets and then Miami. So we almost, get a preseason, except they also count as divisional games. So it's a win-win for us. So we played the Jets this week. And Josh Allen set personal records.
For?
Passing, for one.
Yeah.
He also led the team in rushing, which is hysterical. He actually rushed for more than Singletary and Zach Moss combined.
He also rushed for more than the entire New York Jets' team.
Did he?
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah. So, all right. But yeah, he passed for 300 yards for the first time in his career, and also for the first time in 45 games. It's been
the team?
It's been since December 2016, the last time the Bills had a 300-yard passing game.
Oh, my.
So, thank you, Tyrod. And probably Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, probably at some point. Sammy Watkins was most likely involved.
Yeah. Josh Allen also now tied for second for most rushing TDs by a quarterback through the first 3 years. I think Cam Newton had like 20 or 28 or something like that.
Yeah.
And Josh has got like 18. So I don't know that he'll catch Cam, but he might.
He could.
He could fuck around and catch Cam. We'll see. Yeah, our rushing game looked bad against the Jets. I'll be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I was underwhelmed.
Like it was just, and the Jets have got a good defensive front, so that's kind of, they're not a team that you're necessarily gonna get a lot against.
And they have this one guy who has like a super cool name, Faloronzo Fatukasi.
Okay. Gesundheit.
But he was not doing your rushing game any favors.
No.
And I really liked his name, so I made sure to notate it.
But yeah, together Singletary and Moss on 18 carries put up 41 yards, and that not a lot.
Well, especially when you're only averaging like 2.5 yards a carry between the two of them.
Yeah, that's not getting it done.
Poor Grease.
Yeah. But our passing game was A, diverse, and B, surprisingly successful.
Adequate's a good word that I would use.
Like I said, surprisingly successful.
I
don't know. Josh didn't turn the ball over, at least in that respect. We'll talk about other things soon. But he didn't throw the ball to the other team.
No, he remembered what jersey he was wearing. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
There was still some of those classic Josh Allen missiles to no one occasionally.
Right.
There was one where he legitimately threw it out of the back of the end zone from like 40 yards out, and I was just like, who's there?
There was also... So Josh has still got to work on his accuracy and some of his decision-making. There was also the one where he threw it over John Brown's head by about the length of a John Brown.
And John Brown was free one-on-one.
To steal a phrase. Yeah, in the back of the end zone, just completely wide open, and it would have been 6, like, no problem. Except Josh went, whoop, and,
The ball went to orbit.
Threw it into the 4th fucking row. So, yeah, Josh has got to work on that still. The other thing he's got to work on is his fucking fumbling. Because, oh my god, twice inside of the 35, he loses the goddamn football.
Yeah.
Like, you can't do that and win games. Like, this game is a lot closer than it should have been. Like, it's one of these games where we should have gone in and dominated, and the first half felt pretty dominant, even with the early fumble, but then we coasted.
If the Jets, and the Jets came out of the locker room with some momentum. If the Jets had a little bit more momentum out of the locker room, this wouldn't have been a 2-score game, because Buffalo didn't score again. Buffalo got shut out in the third period or the third quarter, and they didn't score again until the 4th. And by then, like, it was at one point a competitive game again, and I think turnovers can definitely hurt your team in that regard. But the turnovers were also kind of hilarious to watch as, like, an objective viewer. Like, I like the Bills when they do well because, that's one of them. So he gets tripped up and it gets, like, knocked out and flies directly into the defender's outreached hand, who just goes, "Oh, thanks."
Yeah.
The fumble doesn't even hit the ground.
Like, yeah, okay, so, he kind of threw it, but it wasn't an interception.
Right, it didn't count. Arm wasn't moving forward.
Yeah. But yeah, in the most cartoonish Acme, like, fuck you ways possible, just like, ugh.
I was laughing so hard, it was one of those moments where I got off the couch and had to run around and hide behind the couch because I was laughing. It was like one of them, like his, like, subconscious body reactions to this thing that I found hilarious, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. I was not laughing quite as much.
I made sure to text you about it, though.
I was like, yeah, good thing we're winning.
Yep, that's pretty much all you had at that point. Buffalo seemed like they came out hot, though, so...
Yeah, also Josh Allen needs to stop getting Stephon Diggs killed on crossing routes.
Ooh, yeah, there's a couple of high points in there that looked a little spoopy.
Yeah, was not my favorite. But Dawson Knox came out, made some plays. I mean, Stephon Diggs, 86 yards. John Brown, 70 yards. Cole Beasley, 58 yards. Like, like a well-rounded attack.
Mm-hmm. And there was some really good... everybody seemed like they had their role. Mm-hmm. Like, obviously, Stephon Diggs was your home run threat at any point in time.
Didn't actually materialize, but
didn't materialize. But he draws attention from the secondary,
right.
which freed up John Brown and Cole Beasley to pretty much do whatever they wanted in the middle of the field.
Pretty much.
Especially Cole Beasley. Like, there was some really impressive, like, middle of the field route running coming from the slot out of Senior Cole. That was really interesting to watch. If only you had a complimentary running game.
I mean, again, I think we do. It's just it wasn't the game to deploy it. Or also we have a quarterback that, does that. So
he does that.
We still call designed QB run plays, which I really wish we would take out of the playbook. I mean, but they work.
Well,
they just get Josh tagged.
Yeah, they get him tagged, or he coughs the ball up twice.
Yeah, pretty much. So basically, my major takeaways from this game are, and Tyler Bass went like 1 for 3 on, or no, 2 for 3, 2 for 4 on field goals.
Yeah.
He had his extra points.
Good. At least your kicker knows his fucking job.
Yeah. So he only went 50%. One of them was a little questionable. It looked like it might have got, like, had the poles been, 5 feet taller or something, it might have counted, but it, sort of went over the top of it. So
yeah,
good job having such a big fucking leg, you jackass. But yeah, pushed them both right, which is not great.
But the wind was kicking.
Yeah,
though.
well,
like, every time it went to commercial, it was a shot of the flag, and that thing was just sideways, just fucking.
Welcome to Lake Effect, dog.
Yep.
So that was not great, but overall, it was a game that should have been a lot more dominant. I feel like it's nice that it was a warm-up game. It's nice that it was at home. We go to Miami. Miami is letting in 13,000 people to their game. It's their home opener after losing to the Patriots, which we'll talk about. It's nice to have these couple of games to start because I think we're going to beat Miami pretty soundly. I thought we were going to beat the Jets pretty soundly. And 10 points is, not a bad margin, but it could have very easily been 35-10 or, more than that.
Yeah, if there's my big takeaway from this game in particular was I saw a lot of more of the same. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really want that coming into the season for the Bills. I wanted to see. Now, don't get me wrong. This is the best Josh Allen passing performance that we've gotten, but it came off of very uninspired, like, throwing concepts. Like he averaged 6 yards a pass.
It looked like a preseason game.
Yeah, he got 300 yards plus because he threw the ball 30 plus times.
Yeah,
you know,
he threw it 33 completions on 46 attempts.
Yeah, so it's not like.
But hey, in the upper 60s for completion percentage.
Yeah, so like it looked like there's some things there. It looked too much like more of the same, but obviously without having a preseason, you know, there was no dialing it into NFL speed prior to going into this game. So maybe that could be a contributing factor. Who knows?
Also, isn't it kind of funny that you say that it looks like more of the same when he's literally never done this before?
I think he could have done it if he had. I think he could have done this several times if he had more than 2 receivers to throw it to.
I agree with you there.
Yeah, Josh Allen is consistently that guy that can make
maybe not his rookie year.
Maybe not his rookie year, but definitely last year. If he had Stephon Diggs last year, there's no reason for him not to throw 300 yards a game. When you throw the ball to him 7 yards out and then they get you 15 rack.
It helps.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm happy for Josh Allen because it is something that he's never done before, and it's something that hasn't happened in 45 games for the Bills. But it was on to me, a very uninspired concept. But
sure,
doesn't matter because they won the football game.
A dub's a dub.
A win's a win. And then on the other side of the ball, I think this kind of showed the Jets why you pay Jamal Adams.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that secondary had no answers.
Yeah, not really. I mean, you know, averaging 10 yards of completion on 33 completions, you know, no interceptions. There really weren't, like, I think there were a couple tips, but there was nothing that was, like, ever really a threat that I can remember. So,
not anything that I can recall either.
So, you know, I mean, good, conservative early win. You know, putting points on the board, making it easy for the defense to play with a lead.
Mm-hmm. Do you know of the status of Matt Milano?
He's got a hamstring.
Okay. Because I saw that he got pulled.
Yeah.
Shortly after his interception.
Yeah. He got pulled late in the second for the rest of the game. Tremaine also went out with a shoulder, so we're actually missing both of our interior linebackers.
Good. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
At least you still have a secondary.
Yeah. So, you know, AJ Klein will be probably seeing more of the field. I mean, hopefully both of these guys make it back healthy and soon.
Yeah.
And it's nothing major. I mean, Josh Norman landed on IR. Granted, IR this season's only 3 weeks before you can get brought back off of it. But, you know, he was listed as the starter opposite Tre'Davious, and he's out. So, thankfully, Levi Wallace is still healthy enough.
That's good.
You know,
well,
we're not overflowing with cornerbacks, but we've got a couple.
Yeah, you got a few. Fortunately for you, your foray into football this weekend was much more eventful and entertaining than mine. So at least I had something to watch.
Yeah.
I'm happy your team won.
Yeah, me too. I'm upset for you that your team lost.
I'm lying to you. I wanted you to be in the losers club with me.
Oh, well, sucks to suck.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in fairness, of all of my friends' teams this week, you were the one. That game was the one. Shut up! I live next to an airport.
Tell them.
This was the one game where there had to be a winner because Greg and you both were in this game. So Greg's in the loser club with me. Everybody's team lost but yours. The Eagles got beat. My team got beat. The Panthers got beat. And the Suck It Gregs got beat.
And we got the best fans.
And you're getting a billboard in Foxborough.
Yeah. Why? Spite. That's why. I did like that the only options were division rivals, and I was like, oh well, this is only going one place.
Yeah.
Like division rivals or not, this is only going one place.
Who would put the billboard in Miami?
Idiots. People who live in Miami.
Yeah, they're stupid.
Like I said, see option A.
Yeah. To Foxborough it goes.
Yeah. Speaking of to Foxborough, let's talk about Cam Newton's debut real quick. For one reason primarily, in that he was the one quarterback on a new team that actually won this week.
Mm-hmm. And he did it in
Cam Newton fashion.
Yeah, I wouldn't say impressive passer-wise, but he did it the only way. He was very efficient.
Yeah.
And that boy, he can still run. And don't try to steal his chain after the game's over.
Oh, did that happen?
Yeah. There was a scuffle at the end of the game because somebody snatched at his chain, so they had to separate Cam Newton from pretty much the entire Miami bench because he was trying to get in a fight.
Great. That's great.
Yeah, there's videos of it all over the internet. I'll send it to you later. But yeah, it looked like Cam Newton doing Cam Newton things. He developed an early relationship with Julian Edelman, and it seemed like that carried onto the field pretty well. It was just efficient, 15 for 19 and 2 rushing touchdowns and 75 rushing yards. I don't know. I don't really know what else to expect from Cam, seeing how he hasn't played in a while. But that was a very Cam Newton performance, and I think it was honestly a breath of fresh air for the offensive coordinators in Foxborough.
I was going to say it wasn't a very Patriots performance though.
Yeah, it was very. It felt like to me go out there and just do your thing, Cam, and that's not how Bill works.
Go play some backyard bullshit or whatever.
Right.
That thing you do.
Yeah, go rush for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns. We don't care.
Who had a better game, Josh Allen or Cam Newton?
I think as a complete performance, Josh Allen had a better week.
Okay.
I think as the most inspired performance, Cam Newton, because everything Cam Newton does is inspiring because he got attitudinal issues according to some people.
Yeah. Well, he's coming back from an injury and reproving himself on a new team.
Which I think he's on the right path with that kind of performance. I want to see a little more out of the passing game, but they got Julian Edelman, and that's pretty much it. So we'll see. They got I know they got N'Keal Harry. He was there.
And that's playing?
Yeah, he's playing.
Okay.
And because Julian Edelman and N'Keal Harry are the only 2 people in that receiving room that I know of. So
fair enough.
I don't know. What do you think about Cam?
Honestly, I didn't watch that much of the game, but from what I saw and what the stats bear out, I honestly expect a lot more of this over the course of the season. I think they are going to retool around what Cam does well because he is such a unique talent. And I think if the Patriots are going to have sustained success this year, it's going to be by Cam carrying them.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that.
I think they lack the necessary weapons for it to just be an okay team, or to just have an okay quarterback and be successful. We saw Tom Brady last year lashing out and saying, I need you to be faster, I need you to be more explosive to his fucking teammates. Things that you can't tangibly do in the course of a game.
Yeah.
Or in some situations like, I need you to be faster, existence, because you're already generally an athlete at the top of your game.
I need you to give 110%.
Yeah, if you're in the NFL, you're already probably doing that.
Yeah, dial it up to 11.
So, Cam's got to ball out. He's got to be He's got to be 2015 Cam. And it looks like he's potentially capable of doing that. Now, granted, all of this needs to be taken with a grain of salt because it was Miami.
That was kind of the next question I was going to ask you. Do you think that it being Miami had anything to do with it?
And they were in Foxborough.
Yeah, it was Miami in Foxborough with Ryan Fitztragic showing up.
Yeah, Fitztragic definitely is the one who showed up today.
So,
though apparently he's still starting week 2, so
I don't know. I got to do more research into the Tua thing. Maybe he just can't pass physical because he came off such a big injury in college before he got drafted.
I think Ryan Fitzpatrick is a legitimate quarterback that you could actually learn some stuff behind, and giving Tua some time to absorb and adjust to speed when, again, didn't have a preseason, could be helpful to be like, this is what he does actually on game day. This is how we actually prep in a week leading up, yada, yada, yada.
They didn't do that with Kyler Murray. He did all right. They didn't do that with Carson Wentz. He did all right. They didn't do that with Josh Allen for the most part.
Carson Wentz was a number 2 pick. Kyler Murray was a number 1 pick by a guy that had a hard-on for him for years leading up to that point.
Tua Tagovailoa would have been a number 1 or 2 pick if he didn't almost die.
But he almost died.
Yeah, so. Look, a freak knee injury has nothing to do with your tangible ability as a quarterback. Yeah.
I mean, it does if you can't run anymore.
It does if you're scared. What does Miami have to be afraid of? I'm talking about the team, not Tua. Like, the teams are afraid. Like, how many times have we seen in this day and age people have severe ankle or knee injuries and come back and play lights out? It's so much more common nowadays than it was. There's so much weight on these kind of injuries, lowering the draft stock of college players. Like, I think the argument that, Carson Wentz and Kyler Murray deserved to start because they were picked 1 and 2 overall, and Tua didn't, is ridiculous. He didn't have a slide. He didn't have a statistically bad year. He got hurt.
I think we're also getting back to the player skill thing because, again, then we've got Herbert, who's at 6, who at that point, if 2 is 5 and Herbert's 6, then Herbert should be starting.
I made that argument last week.
Well, you said that Herbert shouldn't start because he doesn't have the required skill level, and you think that 2 is a better player.
Yeah, because I think the Chargers reached on Herbert. Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, I don't know that I think 2 is that great of a player, because I haven't seen him really do that much post-injury. Like, he had that one workout video that came out before the draft, but I don't know. That's all I've seen.
Yeah.
And he's not Joe Burrow putting up 60 touchdowns. I don't know.
Joe Burrow certainly didn't put up 60 touchdowns this week. We'll get to that.
Could have still won. But, yeah, like you were saying. We were talking about Cam originally.
Yeah, and it was just how much do you think Miami's ability contributed to Cam having a relatively successful rebirth in Foxborough?
I mean, I think it definitely contributed.
I think it had a whole fuck ton of reason to do with it.
Like, granted, their defense is not crap. They did just pick up, Shaq Lawson and Kyle Van Noy. I don't know who's in their secondary anymore because it's not the other Fitzpatrick.
No, I mean, and that showed. I mean, that obviously showed because it's not like the Patriots went out and beat the brakes off of them.
Right, they beat him
21-11, and one of those was on, or 2 of those touchdowns were on a scramble from Cam Newton. Like, containing Cam is a process within itself.
Right.
There's nothing, like, if you go down based off just watching the film and going through the stats, there's nothing outside of Cam's performance that indicates that Miami was ever out of this game until Fitzpatrick started throwing picks.
Right.
So I don't blame Miami's defense at all. Miami's offense had an inability to keep them in the game. And like you said when we were talking about the Bills, you can't turn over the ball that many times and expect to win. He threw 3 interceptions and they lost by 2 scores.
Especially against the Pats. I mean, you can't make that many mistakes against the Patriots.
No.
You can't. I mean, there used to be a time where you couldn't make any mistakes against the Patriots.
Yeah, Bill Belichick is perfectly fine with letting you dig your own grave and just grinding you into the dirt. He's not gonna stack the points up on you unless he's feeling extra spicy that day.
He'll hand you a shovel and say, "Go to town."
Mm-hmm. And then he'll just work the clock from there. Like, fuck, nobody even scored until the second quarter.
Yep. All right. So that's kind of Cam talk. That's kind of the Patriots talk. I mean, dude, the Patriots might be a real threat. I want to see, who do they play next?
Patriots play Seattle.
So
in Seattle.
So next week will be.
That'll show us something.
Yeah, that'll be for realsies.
Mm-hmm.
That sucks. They have to play in Seattle. We don't have to. Seattle comes to Buffalo for us. So, whoops.
Lucky you.
All right, let's move on.
Okay.
Let's talk about. Well, we can go one of two ways. We can go the old guy or the young guy.
Young guy.
All right, let's talk about Joe Burrow's start.
Yo, there's a lot of people chirping about how good he can play football after that game. I sure as fuck didn't see what they saw. I saw a rookie out there getting blasted is what I saw.
I really haven't had any time to see highlights considering we do this right after I get off work now.
Yeah.
So I don't have that much to say to it, but when you're only putting up 13 points and you're supposed to like actually potentially have an offense, that ain't great.
Like AJ Green's healthy, you still got Joe Mixon. I'd give Joe Burrow.
I've heard some people say that AJ Green is like questionably
healthy. Yeah, which is entirely possible. Joe Burrow got his first NFL touchdown off of a rush. He scrambled. They pretty much opened the B gap like parting the Red Sea, and he
just walked in.
Just walked it in from a fair distance out, like 20 yards or something like that.
Oh, okay.
So there was some athleticism shown. He also got his first NFL pick. He got his first NFL.
Who did he pick off?
So what?
I said, who did he pick off? Just.
He got his first NFL QBR and his first NFL passer rating, and both of those numbers in and of themselves were awful. His QBR was 20.
That's not good.
And his passer rating was 66.
That's
for people that don't know, QBR goes up to 100, and passer rating goes up to like 150 something.
58.3, I think.
Yeah. So he was 23 for 30 something with like 190 yards. They let him dink and dunk all day. He looked like a rookie out there that was still getting his feet wet. He didn't make any super big mistakes that I felt like cost them the game. That interception was a little untimely, but they needed to step on the gas. Both teams needed to step on the gas by the third quarter, and the only team that was able to do it was the Chargers. Chargers put up 10 in the fourth quarter to go ahead and take the game. So it was not as disastrous as I expect people to think it would have been. But there's my big takeaway from this game isn't necessarily the play. It's the amount of fucking chirping I saw on the internet about, oh, Joe Burrow can ball. It's like, where? In what fucking world did we watch that game and just go, yeah, he's going to be MVP one day? Like, I don't, like, he's not in college anymore. Can we kill the Burrow hype? Like, you still got to earn. What is literally the most fucking feast or famine fucking hit or miss position that you can draft that high as the quarterback? Like, let's give it more than a game, and can we also like have better numbers and performance than this before we start making those determinations?
Until you throw 28 touchdowns your rookie year, Baker still has the record.
Yeah, and until you throw a touchdown ever, you're not even competing. You know?
Yeah, that was yes.
Yeah. So I didn't see anything overtly wrong. They had the opportunity to win. They had opportunities to win the game, and they just didn't. And they were up 13-6 in the fourth, and the Chargers said, "No, fuck that." Not a super inspiring performance on the Chargers side of the ball either. So the game as a whole, relatively boring. I think Joe Burrow still has a lot to prove.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else of note from that game? Or is that kind of...
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, let's talk about the old guy. Let's talk about Tom Brady in his new home.
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. Johnny fucking Foxborough. Did you hear about that? One of the quotes from the biography that was done on him, or Dynasty, the book that came out on the Patriots. Apparently Giselle or someone was getting pissed off because they were, quote, treating him like Johnny fucking Foxborough. So they were like, yeah, if you could, you guys could treat him with some fucking respect around here.
Mm-hmm. And put some respect on that man's name. He has 6 Super Bowls, damn it.
Treating him like he's nobody. So Tom Brady goes to Tampa Bay. People start talking about this shit like it's the fucking dream team, like Philadelphia a few years back. And then
they run into the brick wall that is New Orleans.
They run into New Orleans, and Drew Brees is like, "Yo, hold this. This is my division."
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That
who had a better game, Josh Allen or Tom Brady?
Josh Allen.
Okay.
He didn't throw any picks.
It's true.
And Tom Brady threw 2 of them.
It's true.
How
many rushing yards did Tom Brady get?
Like 6.
The answer is 9.
Okay, I was close. The turnover number was about the same.
Yeah, it was identical, actually.
Yeah.
Assuming Brady didn't fumble anything.
Not that I'm aware of.
But anyways, this I did watch some of. I caught the second half of this game.
Shoot, what you got? What you think? Is he still old?
I think Mike Evans is... Yo, Tom Brady can still fucking spin it. And I fucking hate to say it, but...
Yeah.
He threw a couple of those, and I was like, that's a laser.
Yeah, like, it was interesting to see...
You're 4,000 years old.
Yeah, this is weird. I was rooting for Tampa, I really was. And I love Drew Brees. You know I love Drew Brees. We talk about this all the time, how I think Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. I think Drew Brees is the best quarterback of all time.
Yes.
And Tom, it was weird being comfortable rooting for Tom Brady because he's out of my fucking conference. Uh-huh. But I was able to do it. And that first drive looked good.
See, and again, I didn't see anything early, so...
Yeah, like, they literally first possession just marched. Tom Brady was making decent passes. They were getting good calls in their favor. Ronald Jones was running all over the damn field.
Must have been the only time he did that.
Yeah.
He ended up with 66 yards, so that clearly didn't continue.
Didn't carry on because, as you said, Drew Brees said, "This is my division." And then the Saints put up 17 unanswered in the second quarter.
Yeah, sure did. Did you see Alvin Kamara's fucking grill?
Yeah. The balls on that man.
That shit's sparkly, though.
So now he's playing with a nose ring, a chain, and a grill. Fucking testicles on him must be the size of a whale. But yeah, Tom Brady can still throw the ball. There was some miscues. And there were obvious miscues.
Tom Brady on pace for the 30 for 30 special.
Yeah, he is. He's gonna... I don't know what Mike Evans' deal was yesterday.
I mean, my understanding is he might be injured somehow already.
Not just that. He just seemed like overtly confrontational. Like he was getting in shoving matches with everybody all game.
I must have missed that.
Yeah, and But this is the first time, and I actually read an article on it. This is the first time where we've actually had a coach that criticized Tom Brady openly to the media after this game, because he was like, both of those picks were bad balls by Tom.
Uh-huh.
Mike Evans read the coverage right because it was an option route. It was a curl post option route for the first pick, and Mike Evans read the defense, went for the curl. Tom Brady threw the post right into the safety. And then the other one was just a bad throw. But it was the first. Bruce Arians was like, those were just, we'll work on it in practice, but those were bad throws. Those were bad reads by Tom Brady. Mike Evans had it right. And I was just like, oh, shit.
Johnny fucking Foxborough over here.
Because it's the first time we've had a coach that's willing to, publicly criticize, especially Tom Brady. Because Bill Belichick, he subtly criticizes.
Bill Belichick just really wants to.
He just wants to go home.
Just make sure that we keep everything fucking inside the house.
Yeah, I don't. What's the face space and? Brr.
How about you keep off the tiki talkies and run some more goddamn gassers, you piece of shit.
But that Tom Brady's performance and how much I love Taysom Hill.
Yeah,
probably really my only takeaways from this from that game.
Did you see that double pass to Alvin Kamara from Taysom Hill?
38 yards, baby.
That shit was nice.
Yeah. And Alvin Kamara, man, he came out. The rushing game kind of got stuffed a little later, but Alvin Kamara came out fucking swinging too. He was a threat all game.
I'm gonna get this contract.
Yep. Michael Thomas also strangely not present, but then again, so was Drew Brees when it came to like really lighting up the stat lines. The Saints played a very conservatively consistent game. When it came to just steadily getting downfield and scoring. Nothing flashy. Good smash mouth football, forcing turnovers, taking advantage of them. The nines. Drew Brees still got his 2 touchdowns, so he's going to break some kind of record this year probably if he doesn't already have them all.
I think he's probably got a couple he can work on. Okay. Do we have any other games that are importante?
Not really the whole game, but just some comments. So fourth quarter, Mitchell Trubisky being MVP, he showed up again.
Yes, the Lions doing Lions things.
Yeah, and then fourth quarter, Mitch. That has to be the only reason why Nick Foles isn't starting right now is because they're like, yeah, but Mitchell Trubisky turns into a superhero if they're down by 2 scores in the fourth quarter for some fucking reason.
Khalil Mack's standing there just like, please, God, just play like this all the time. God, why can't you just... There are 60 minutes in this game.
Yeah, and he only wants to play for 15 of them. But man, when he shows up, it was something to fucking watch, I tell you. He all three of his passing touchdowns in the same quarter against a team like they were losing like 23-6 when the fourth started, and then they scored 21 unanswered.
No, it was not a close game.
Yeah, it was not a close game. The other takeaway is, Adrian Peterson, that man's still scary.
He can still run on you.
Yeah, fucking, he had 90 yards, averaging 6.5 a carry. So, good to see the old guys still out there putting in work. I don't know what fucking Mitchell Trubisky's deal is, but he's like that superhero that doesn't show up until the third act every single time.
Yep. Yeah, I don't have much to contribute other than maybe you play Nick Foles for 3 quarters and then you just put Trubisky in at the end. Like you play it like baseball where you got your closer.
Yeah, you got the closing pitcher, you have the opener. You have your starter and your closer. That's the secret. They'll go undefeated if they take advantage of that.
Yeah. Or if you've got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And Kansas City looks like that they're gonna win another Super Bowl probably.
Yeah, well, especially with fucking Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, which again I think I said on the podcast. Maybe it was just in us talking, but in him getting drafted to Kansas City, I was sitting here during the draft being like, he's potential, like he could secretly be the best running back in the entire draft, but he was just sitting behind Joe Burrow's offense, where Burrow was putting up 60 touchdowns, and Helaire didn't have to do much. Helaire.
And he's another one of those running backs. If this kind of performance carries on throughout the season, that is going to further perpetuate my argument that running backs aren't worth shit, because you can get a bajillion dollars worth of value later in the draft.
He was still picked in the first round.
Yeah, technically, but he could have easily slipped if they didn't want him. You know, it's a common understanding that anything after like the 25th pick in the first round, they're quote unquote second round quality. It's just needs of the team at that point.
It greatly declines in value. Yeah.
Yeah, it was super fun to watch. That dude was fucking hitting holes like a little bowling ball.
I mean, DeAndre Swift went to the Detroit Lions at 35 in the second round, so 3 picks later and another running back went, so, you know.
Yeah. That's kind of the spot. And that argument's mostly towards people that are like, they want these like humongous contracts, or like burning a first or second overall pick on a running back, like those arguments. You can still find value so late in the draft. Anyways, we've had that conversation before.
Oh, he was the first running back off the board.
He was, yes.
Okay.
But he could run inside, he could run the draw, he could run zone reads, he could run to the outside. There was almost nothing that man couldn't do.
Except catch the
ball. They'll work on that, because Patrick Mahomes is going to want him to do that.
Patrick Mahomes going to throw the ball.
Yep. Kind of a I don't want to use the word lackluster, but Patrick Mahomes nor Deshaun Watson's performance really lit it up for me. I expected we didn't see any like the crazy deep threat plays that we're used to seeing out of either of those offenses. I think Houston greatly suffered from DeAndre Hopkins not being there.
I mean, yeah, absolutely.
And that showed in the Cardinals game, where DeAndre Hopkins balled out, and he and Kyler Murray were the reasons why they won that game.
Right.
And the Chiefs, Tyreek Hill was kind of missing in action until the second half, really.
Excellent decoy.
Yeah. The game wasn't as close as it actually appears on paper. Most of Houston's
that stuff came in garbage time.
Yeah, most of Houston's score came in garbage time. The Chiefs were just biding time. They didn't really have to do much. It was kind of underwhelming, but the Chiefs, like you said, they still look like the fucking Chiefs, and that's terrifying.
Yep. They didn't get any worse. Arguably, they got better. I don't know how they're going to pay everybody, but they say they are.
If they win now, they won't have to.
Yeah. Oh, and Jacksonville won.
Oh, yeah. Minshew Mania, baby.
The Minshew Mania. It's
coming
after you, brother.
Gardner Minshew threw for 19 for 20.
Yep.
And 3 touchdowns.
He threw more touchdowns than he threw incompletions.
That is the model of efficiency.
Yeah.
And it wasn't it wasn't at a bad rate either. He was like average 9 yards a pass.
Yeah.
Like he was hitting it downfield. And that was really interesting. Phillip Rivers went out and did Phillip Rivers things. Threw for 1 million yards and 1 million picks.
Has Gardner Minshew stolen the Fitzmagic?
I hope so, man. I like Gardner Minshew.
Did he show up in Florida and say, "Give me that shit"?
He stole the Fitzmagic. He went to Miami and sleeched it out of him with the magic football like Space Jam.
It's my magic now.
But I like cut off jean handlebar mustache guy. So
Jacksonville, the team that if you asked anybody, they'd say, "Oh yeah, they're the ones tanking this year."
Could have fooled me, because they beat a good football team.
fuck around and find out, apparently. So, just wanted to throw that out there because that was noteworthy, and Indianapolis was absolutely a favorite going into that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, 100%.
So...
Yeah, and just because we touched on it briefly, because we brought up DeAndre Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins had 14 receptions on 16 targets for 151 yards.
He sure did.
I'm just saying, Houston. I don't know what you're thinking over there.
How you like that, Kyler Murray?
Yeah.
Is this going to be okay to throw to?
Larry Fitzgerald is just over there like, finally, I can rest my knees.
Yes. I forget who said it, but it was like, yes, someone who I can pass a terrible defense on to, so I may finally go into the eastern lands. Fade off into the sunset.
Yeah. Yo, Aaron Rodgers, calm the fuck down.
Aaron Rodgers might be the best quarterback in football, and he might just be warming up.
Yeah, well, he said right before the start of the season, he was just like, this is the healthiest I've felt since like my first 5 years in the league.
Can you imagine if they actually drafted him a wide receiver and not another quarterback?
Like, and to be fair, Devontae Adams showed the fuck up too, but like, imagine putting up somebody right next to Devontae Adams
right.
instead of another quarterback. Like, Aaron Rodgers went into the Minnesota game going, this is why you don't draft people when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, and then put up 360 yards for 4 tuds. Like,
hike.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is why you don't draft over me on 3.
Yeah. Motherfucker. Made me wait that long, and now you're trying to cut me? I
don't think so. Well, okay, so technically they should have Devin Funchess also, but he opted out for the season. So... don't know what you're supposed to do about that one.
Fuck it, you got that Marquez Valdez-Scantling guy.
He's doing enough.
I think 96 yards and a touchdown is enough.
on 6 targets and 4 receptions, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, unless we've got anything else before we devolve into our old model of just reading stats, which was not fun.
No, we're not doing that. I watched most of these games, so.
Okay. At least we got that going.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Cowboys-Rams game because it was on television. But it turned out about at how I expected, which is the Cowboys are still, like, I don't know, they got a lot of pieces, but they can't seem to, like, get anything going, really.
Yeah.
I can't tell if Dak is, like, shook or, like, just dejected or what, but it seems like he's not. I mean, I don't even know what his actual stats were from last night, but...
Oh, he's definitely not, like, rookie season Dak. Like, he only threw...
25 for 39 for 266 and a touchdown. Who had a better game, Dak Prescott or Josh Allen?
Josh Allen.
Okay.
Josh Allen ran for 70 million yards.
I think maybe... Well, I don't think maybe. I think Aaron Rodgers had a better game than Josh Allen.
I think that can be confirmed. Yeah.
And I think that might be about it. I think Josh Allen might have had the second best game.
Statistically, if it's fourth quarter Mitch Trubisky versus Josh Allen
for the entire game.
Yeah. All right, you want to get into some news?
Sure, let's get into some news. Fucking Van Der Esch has a broken collarbone.
Sick. David Njoku's on IR.
Sick.
Yeah. They also literally fired Austin Seibert like right after the Browns game, and we're going with our kicker.
Oh.
So he got fired already. And now Cody Parkey's kicking for us. So we're going for Cody Parkey round 2 because we already tried him once.
Making choices.
Yeah.
Is Hausch Money signed with anybody yet?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I think he is.
Hauschka. Oh, that is one thing I said, like, after your kicker. I did yell that in the middle of the game. After your kicker missed a field goal or an extra point or something like that.
Yeah.
I was just like, that's why you don't fire Hauschka.
You ain't wrong.
Let's see. Hauschka, kicker, Google, free agent.
Oh. Maybe we bring him back then.
Yeah, who knows?
Because, I mean, honestly, he wasn't missing them from 50. He was missing them from, like, 38 and 34. And you got to hit those, dog. Hauschka inside of 40 is still...
Hauschmani.
Hauschmani.
Yeah. Yeah, Le'Veon Bell's expected to miss a couple weeks with a hamstring.
Everybody in the club getting hamstrings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, apparently Adam Gase said he was disappointed or upset with himself that he put an injured Le'Veon Bell back into the game.
Yeah. Like, look, man, Adam Gase needs to be fired.
Like, from football.
Yeah, from just go do something else, dude. Like, everything you touch turns to shit, like, almost immediately. Just go away.
Imagine how good Ryan Tannehill could have been.
Yeah, we're going to see it. We're going to see it tonight.
Yep. At fucking 10:30.
Yep. Really, the only big piece of news that I saw, like general league news that I found interesting, is the NFL is actually threatening discipline for coaches because they're not wearing their masks.
Saw that.
Yeah.
Saw that. And I also saw a lot of Sean Payton standing on the sideline, like, mask off most of the time.
Look, he's got a lot of gum to chew, okay?
You want to know what my actual favorite thing is, though?
What?
Is coaches wearing masks and then still covering their faces with their call sheets.
Because it's such a habit now.
Yeah, it's just like, what are you doing? You're probably muffling yourself.
I'm double covered, bro. Yeah. And it was funny watching, like, the refs run back and forth, like, between, like, their referee huddle and then, like, talking in their microphone, like, mask on, mask off, and it's, like, attached to their whistle.
Yeah.
So as they're, like, running around, it's just kind of flapping all over the fucking place. It's a fucking weird time to be in the NFL, man. Weird time to be alive.
It's a weird time to be alive.
But, yeah, failure to adhere to this requirement will result in accountability measures being imposed against offending individuals and or the clubs. What does that mean? I guess we'll find out next time somebody fucks around.
Yeah, fuck around and find out, I guess.
Yeah.
Yo, we're going to make you wear the tight pants.
Yeah. Matt Rule was...
The ones that don't make your butt look good.
Aw, that's just tragic.
Matt Rule, flattering tight pants.
Matt Rule was one of the coaches I was directly targeted by all this, and he was like, "Fuck it, next time I'll just wear the Andy Reid face shield," because I was just trying to talk into my microphone. Because evidently there's a bunch of shots of him that went viral, obviously talking into his headset with his mask pulled down. Like, I think if you distance yourself, talking to your microphone, put your mask back on, no big deal, no harm, no foul.
Plus, you're like facing the field.
Yeah, you're facing the field, but like. He was just like, fuck it, I'll just wear the Reed special. I'll just be fogged up the whole goddamn game. Is that what you want?
I mean, it wins games.
Yeah. Hey, at least we knew he was breathing.
Yeah. Can confirm.
Didn't have too many hamburgers before the start of the game or anything like that. So he seemed like he had a normal breath pattern.
The Hawaiian shirt is not too tight.
Yeah. You know, if you just, like, spray some Windex on the inside of that thing, it's harder for, like...
Shaving cream.
Shaving cream works really well, too. Like... when I used to be an avid swimmer, I'd use shaving cream on the inside of my goggles. Yep. That's all you need, Mr. Reed. Invest in some shaving cream.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the handlebar, though. Just rub it on the mask.
Yeah. Puts the lotion on the mask.
Or else I spank that ass.
Yeah. Or else you get, what'd you call it? What was the name of the thing?
The what
thing?
Get
mandated something.
Yeah, or yeah, you're gonna get whatever the fuck legal jargon the NFL wants to use. It puts the shaving cream on the mask, or else it will result in accountability measures being imposed against offending individuals and or clubs.
That's the one. And it gets the hose again.
Also the hose.
All right, we got anything else?
Wrap it up.
Sick. All right, so this has been the Fourth and Wrong podcast for September the 14th, 2020. Thank you for joining us. I don't ever say that. We appreciate you. Smash that like button. Say goodbye, Keith.
Fuck the Browns.
I'll take it. I mean, I watched the Denver game, but, I don't have much to comment on that other than it kind of played out as expected. And it looks... What?
You want to try that one again?
It came out as expected?
No, you watched the Who game?
What'd I say, Denver?
Yeah.
Oh, Dallas and...
Are you in the future?
Yeah. The... Fuck. I didn't watch any football last night.
Yeah, I don't believe in football.
Oh, the Dallas Chargers. The other LA team.
Yeah. Them Rams.
The Dallas Rams team. I'm cutting all of this out.
Okay.
This is all going at the end of the podcast now.
You tried your best, man.
Son of a bitch. I don't know how that's going to look at the end.